Hello, Warriors. I'm broadcasting live from an empty flat. I don't know if you can see. I'm using my laptop today to record this. And I'm also not wearing clothes apart from a pair of shorts. So don't be alarmed, I'm not naked. And just comment in, please, on sound. What's the sound quality like? Because I know it's kind of echoing here. This will be the, I think, second to last one I make in the flat before I start making these back at home. But I'd like to know in the comments how you think the sound is. And yeah, it's about 35 degrees in here right now. So I've got a good sweat on. I just had a cold shower, and I'm pumped. I'm ready to talk to you guys about how to create a calmer and quieter mind. Thanks, Michelin. It's good to know that the sound is good. Before I get there, I just want to intro with what we were talking about, the post I wrote about vulnerability and about how the group had kind of gone down that road of weighing down on things. And the thing is, right, is that vulnerability is a balance. And if you pour your heart and soul out on a regular basis and get what we might call super heavy, the weight of that weighs down on the group. And I kind of knew it was going to come. I was going to write that post, and it wasn't the easiest one to write. I wrote it and then rewrote it about 4 or 5 times, if I'm really truly honest. It just wasn't the easiest thing to write. But then when I think I got the balance right, I wanted to make sure people knew that they could still, and you guys know that you can still message me, to my inbox. Just send me a personal message if you ever feel like you're, really, really struggling. Just send me a personal message, and I will help you, and I will also help steer you in the right direction as to how to get, professional help. But I wanted to say, Warriors, thank you so much for firstly putting up with a semi-naked me, and secondly for just buying into the group and what it stands for. It stands for creating the happiest, most vibrant, and grounded, joyous life that you can. And in order to do that, we need to lift each other higher. And I don't disagree with many of the comments. The super heavy posts were starting to weigh into the group and change the atmosphere. And it's not what I want to do. I want this group to go further and higher, and I want it to just get better and better. And that's, by the way, also not about ignoring our real feelings either. Like, if you feel the need to just kind of talk openly with the group, that's still absolutely fine. You just got to do it with balance, do it with eloquence, and maybe ask a question like, what can I do with this, rather than sort of talk all about your problems and your emotions. Come in with a slightly more empathetic view of the audience that you're talking to and say, look, guys, I'm actually just going through this. I don't need to go through all the details, but could you just give me a couple of tips, this, and that might be a more eloquent way of doing it. But the final note is, don't come onto this page looking for advice on really heavy matters, because that should be something that you go and seek professional help for. It's not for a group to advise on, because I'm a coach, and many of the people on here are not trained professionals in counselling either. I'm a coach and not a counsellor. So I thought I'd start with that. I also just want to say, if you guys could comment in any questions you have today, I'd love that. If you just commented in some questions, just so I can get a feel for what you guys want me to talk about. I'm going to crack straight into the content, and then I'm going to answer Michelin and Biddy's questions at the end. The very first thing is in how to calm and quieten your mind is, I want to ask you, where are you breathing from? Because when you breathe from here, you tend to increase tension in the body. Whereas when you tend to breathe through your belly, you release tension. And so what I want you to start noticing is, I'll give you an example, I'll stand up now. What I want you to start noticing is when you're just out and about, is when you're kind of, let's say, standing in a queue at the supermarket, or you've got up in the morning, or whatever it is you might be doing, I want you to really start noticing, are you breathing through here, or are you breathing through here? You're breathing through your tummy. Because when you breathe through your tummy, what you'll notice is you'll trigger something called the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve sits just here. And when you trigger the vagus nerve from taking a belly breath, you release serotonin. And then when you release serotonin, you feel calmer. So the first thing to do, warriors, is to let your tummy out. I think in today's society, we're taught to pull it in, to pull it in, pull it in. And of course, that has some virtues, like looking slimmer and fitting into certain outfits and things like that. But what it can do is it can exacerbate tension and anxiety in your body. Because if you are constantly trying to tense your abs and pull your tummy in to make it look slimmer, what it does is make your breathing even harder, so you tend to breathe even more through here. So my big tip immediately when it comes to calming your mind is to breathe through the belly, but in order to be able to do that, you've got to let go of wanting to make the world think you have a really ultra flat stomach. Just let your tummy out a little bit. If you look at tribes around the world, what you'll notice is, because there's no kind of Western culture, you find that the men and women let their tummies kind of drift out, and that's very relaxing, because all the organs sit more naturally, and you tend to breathe in that lovely, deep and diaphragmatic way. And of course, they're not looking to make their tummy look as tiny and little as possible as it is in the West on the magazines and fitness things and all that kind of stuff. So they tend to be a hell of a lot healthier and calmer because they're able to breathe through their stomach, because they let their tummy basically poke out. Keep an eye out for that when you meet people. Is notice how it is and where it is that they're breathing, and you'll tend to find that people who are really, really calm breathe through their stomach. I'll give you an honest story and say that when I really started researching and implementing this years ago, I found it difficult because I'd always wanted to have that kind of fit and strong looking body. And I always thought to no, tense your core and keep it pulled in, and that's got to be the right thing to do. And actually, it was one of the most anxious and tense times in my life. I wasn't allowing myself to produce any relaxation hormones because my tummy was so pulled in. It never allowed my vagus nerve to trigger. And that's that nerve we talked about, where if you breathe deeply, it releases that relaxation hormone. So if you're someone who really deals with feelings of worry and anxiety, I want you to really start tuning in to where you breathe. And while we're on this call now, while we're on this webcast, episode 6 of Warrior Radio, which I'm calling it now, I want you to just check in with that breath. It's a deep breath, but it's through your belly, so you feel that through your tummy. And not necessarily through here. You can feel the difference, can't you? If you just do it now versus such a big difference. So that's the very first thing that I want you to do, my friends. I'm not going to lie. I'm pretty fucking hot right now. But I'm loving this, and I'm following the 5-minute rule, which is that if you ever feel like you're procrastinating on something, give it 5 minutes, and before you know it, you'll be fine. And I'm loving this already. I'm having a great time. It might be 35 degrees, but I'm incredibly grateful that I'm here and I'm with you guys now. Like I said, please comment in if you have any questions that you want to ask me relating to mind, body, soul, and well-being. So just pop those in if you get a chance. The next thing, the next way to calm your mind, calm and quieten your mind, number 2, is to get on that thing that you know you keep putting off. See, there will be this thing that you know you're doing that isn't serving you. And it might be a little bit too much of maybe socializing, which is not giving you enough time with your family. It might be slightly too late at night, too many nights in a row with a little bit too much booze, which is stopping you from waking up feeling well in the morning. It might be, porn addiction. It might be too much chocolate. It might be that you're not getting on with your goal setting. It might be that you're not going to the gym where you feel like you should be. I mean, I could go on for ever and ever. The point is that we procrastinate. And we procrastinate on either letting go of habits that aren't serving us or getting on with ones that do. And in this webcast today, just make a declaration to yourself that you will today or tomorrow start that thing that you keep putting off, which is to either get on with something or to let go of something. To either adjust a thing in your lifestyle one way or adjust it the other. But only you are the one that knows the truth, whether you're maybe getting to bed a bit too late, maybe you're having a little bit too much sugar, maybe there's a relationship issue that you just know you need to sort out. But the longer and longer that you leave it alone and expect it to just go away, the harder and harder it's going to become, because it's going to eat away at you. And if you're someone that wants to feel calmer, you're going to feel so much calmer and quieter in your mind and more energized and happier and more vital if you tomorrow, this week, this month declare that you're just going to get on with that thing. And I'll be the first to admit that, I'm just as much a human being as anyone. And when I had a meeting for my book today, and it was a great meeting. It was all very positive. And there was also a hell of a lot of room for me to improve. And these publishers were saying to me, look, well, have you got on with this? Have you got on with that? Have you done this? And it's to do with like my YouTube channel. And have I organized advertising for that post into that page and doing this and this and to create more leads? And, they were just really hammering me with questions. And I was like, whoa, no, I haven't. I'll be totally honest. I've probably been surfing or making these videos or doing the things that I find really, really easy to do and enjoyable to do, but I haven't been getting on with those slightly more have-to activities. I'll be honest, I don't love doing my tech type stuff, but I know that it will serve me. Long term, it will serve me. It will make me a happier, more satisfied human being, because I know that I'm going to be reaching my goals, and I know that I'm going to have to go through that have-to, because we can't eliminate all of the have-tos in life. And if you feel as if you're putting off that thing in your life that you know will serve you, but you just don't love doing it, just please, my friend, start it tomorrow and give it the 5-minute rule. I'll do the 5-minute rule if you do the 5-minute rule. And the 5-minute rule is give it 5 minutes. So tomorrow, I'm going to get back on with my YouTube channel, which is something I've been putting off forever. And I'm going to open the lid of my laptop, and I'm just going to sit there, and I'm going to give it 5 minutes, and I'm going to try and upload one video. Because here's the key when it comes to these things, is it's just do a little tiny bit. Don't feel like you have to change everything and get on with all those little things you've been putting off. Just do one little thing once tomorrow, crack on with it, and I promise you'll just get that lift of satisfaction to feel like you've no longer just swept it under the rug. You're actually doing something about it, and you'll feel proud. And I want you to then share it with the group, and we're all here to keep each other accountable. I want. Here you go. Here's one. I want you guys to be accountable. I want you, because you're part of my journey. You are my journey, and the more successful I can become, the more content like this I can produce. So it's going to help you as well. I want you to keep me accountable and say, well, have you done your YouTube work and your advertising work and that kind of thing? And I want you to keep me accountable. Please, because I'm a human being. Jesus, I like I said, I find the creative writing super straightforward because I just love it. I love doing this. I love making posts. I love helping people, seeing clients, etc. But all those little extra bits that I sweep under the rug, I don't love doing. But I know long term they're going to serve you. So if there's something for you that you feel is the same, tomorrow's the day. Tomorrow's the day, this week, and we're going to really keep each other accountable on that. And you'll feel so much calmer for it. You'll go to bed just feeling happier, and you just, it's that sense of satisfaction. There's nothing like it. I'm just going to look at the comments real quick. 5-minute rule, guys. Elaine, Janice, give it the 5-minute rule. Neve, I hope you like my new gaff. Yeah. France, I am not in the ice bath. I will be getting in an ice bath in about 10 minutes. Who of you have tried the ice bath yet? Because the ice bath is the one. Seriously, if you're like me and you're lazy, and you like to stay in shape, man, get in that ice bath. And also, with it being so hot, jump in the ice bath. 10 minutes, and your whole evening you'll be cool. And it's probably for me. So I've got to stop for a second. Sean Dennis, yeah, buddy, sort that hair out. Look at it. What the hell is going on with this? This Barnet. Sean, I tell you what, mate. This is what happens when it's 35 degrees. That's what's happening, buddy. 35 degrees. Go back to the ice bath. Good for you as well. So not only will you feel cool for the evening, not only will you burn calories, and if you're lazy like me, it's a really quick way of just staying in shape, but it will also reduce inflammation, reduce histamine, and histamine is responsible for hay fever symptoms. So if you get a lot of hay fever symptoms this time of year, then jump in that cold bath. Get that you'll just find yourself getting so many less of those drowsy, brain fog, sneezing, coughing, asthma symptoms if you practice cold therapy. There's a lot of good science out there now showing that cold therapy has that effect on the body. So not only can you help you lose weight, but it can help improve your health massively. So I want to see how many of you this week can jump in the cold bath. Let's get it on. Let's do a group cold bath, shall we? Maybe I'll make that the challenge for Wednesday. We'll all jump online. Now, we might have to wear bathing suits. We don't want to turn this into an X-rated ice bath, and that can be really tricky for the guys. And the guys know exactly what I'm talking about when I'm saying that. But anyway, I won't go down that rabbit hole. Here we go. So number three. There you are, friends. Number three, tip number three for staying calmer and quietening your mind is, I'm just looking at the comments, it's going to make me giggle. Number three is to don't force having to try and kind of let it go. Because I think what we get is let's say we're going through a phase of not feeling our best, we're feeling a bit worried or this or that. We're just looking to voice our concerns to a friend or a family member or loved one or whoever it may be. Wow, I think this water was left here from last time. That's some really old water. It's basically like piss. But basically, you might have someone say to you, oh, let it go, man, let it go, just live in the moment. And it's true, live in the moment. And of course, that's ultimately, so I'm just going to wipe the screen because it's actually getting steamy. But it can be a fucking nuisance. It can be the absolute last thing you want to hear when all you want to be is alone. So when you're looking for a bit of counsel, because we all are like that, we all like to just be with a friend, maybe not to offload heavily, but just to talk with people about what's going on in our lives. My friend, do it in a balanced way and don't overburden people. And secondly, do it with someone who you know is not going to just try and provide a solution. Because if you're going to do it with someone who's going to provide a solution, you've then got to confront that actually this is not counsel anymore, this is coaching. So my point in tip number 3 is, know if who you're talking to is a coach or a counsel. If it's counsel, choose the right person. And quite often, those kinds of people can be incredibly rare. And if it's so rare in your life that you can't find that, then hire someone. Hire a counsellor and seek professional help. But if you are willing to have someone coach you, because you've got some friends you'll have and people who will just immediately go, yeah, I'm listening to what's going on, and here's what I want you to try. Just be ready for that, because we all know that sometimes the last thing we want to hear is the solution to our issue, because that's not what we wanted. We just wanted to be heard. So just be warned of that. And because I know the feeling, I know that if I'm talking to my wife and I'm just talking about a concern I have or whatever, she is a phenomenal formal counselor. She just listens. She is just such a sweetheart, and I am getting better at it for her. I won't say and lie to you that I'm perfect, because Jesus, I'm a coach, and I'm Mr. Positive, and all I'm looking for is a solution all the time. And I just know when she says to me that she's got this feeling going on and she's feeling a bit lost and a bit this, a bit that, I often immediately go into like, oh, well, this and this and that, and actually, you know what? That's not what I need to be doing. Because what I need to be doing is just giving it my knees. And she does that for me. And I'm very, very fortunate and lucky to have that. And she has that from me in increasing amounts. So my point is, if you're either listening to someone who's talking to you, go inside your instincts and just figure out intuitively, is this person just wanting to vent and talk things through, which is basically 9 times out of 10? Or are they genuinely looking for me to help coach them? Because it will transform that whole conversation. Because so often, if not most often, people are not looking to let it go. Oh, just let it go, stop worrying. Because that just makes things worse. People are just looking to be heard. So the final key in the third key in how to calm and quieten your mind is know who you're talking to. Is it a coach, or is it someone who's a counsellor, or acting as a counsellor? Because then you'll get the best result for what it is that you want, which is either a solution or a release. So, my friends, I love questions. I do love questions. I've got a couple of questions. I'm just going to go straight to the question Biddy wrote in, which was, Will, how do I stop my chocolate tooth from running wild? I think that's kind of right, isn't it, Biddy? How do I stop the chocoholism? Let me be the first to admit that chocolate does that to me too, so I can empathize. And my first and immediate tip is to practice something that I call ASIT, which stands for avoid stocking it in the house. ASITH. Avoid stocking it in the house. Because if it isn't in the fridge, it isn't going to call you Biddy. Because if it is in the fridge, we all know what that's like. Like tonight, I've bought a mango, some rice, some salmon, and a bit of veg. And that's all I've got. Once that's eaten, that'll be it. But I know if I bought a 100-gram bar of green and blacks, which, oh my God. By the way, please, can we comment in? Please, comment in. Favorite chocolate brand and flavor. For me, green and blacks. Or Lindt sea salt. That is just the best. When I've got chocolate in the fridge, because my wife buys it, she's so good at moderation. I'm terrible. When she's got it in the fridge, and she has like a little fucking just tiny, I don't know how she does it. For me, it's like it's calling me, Will, come and eat me, boy. You know you want the chocolate. Please come. It's like a gremlin. Who in here finds that? Just comment yes if you find that food sometimes calls you from the fridge. It feels as if it's just like it is. Whether it's biscuits, crisps, chocolate, whatever. And so that happened to me for years, and I used to be in not the shape I wanted to be in, but also my teeth suffered, and I had gut issues, and it affected my sleep because I was eating too much sugar. So ACID, I avoided stocking it in the house. And if you just don't have it in the house, you tend not to think about it, Biddy. So that's my big tip for that one. We had another question from Michelin, which was... Billy's just written, I'd eat shit covered in chocolate. Oh, Billy, that is hilarious. You're a funny lass. Michelin asked, how do I quieten, sorry, not quieten, how do I stop, was it an overactive mind? Michelin? How do I stop an overactive mind with lots of thoughts? And Michelin, I think the key is don't try and stop an overactive mind. That's probably serving you in many ways because you're probably very creative and ambitious. So it's just learn to be mindful of it. If you just notice your thinking, you'll notice that it's just thoughts. And no matter how fast they're running, no matter what they are, whether they're weird or good or negative or strange or worrisome, they are just thoughts. And if you can go back to that breath every single morning, take that deep breath through the belly, through the diaphragm, you'll notice that your thoughts are just thoughts and they come in and out like the clouds above. And that's probably the most important lesson that I think any human being in the entire world could ever learn. Because most people truly are asleep. They're asleep to consciousness. They don't, they believe that their thoughts are what lead them. They believe that their thoughts are what creates them. They believe that they are their thoughts, whereas we're not. If I honestly thought that I was my thoughts, I would go from anxious to depressed to happy to sad to depressed to anxious to happy to sad to depressed in like 15 seconds sometimes. You can't ever expect your thoughts to be under full control. They're just going to pop in like weird things that they are. What even is a thought? I don't know. But what we can do, rather, we might not be able to control every single thought that we have, but what we can do is most definitely learn how to control ourselves, our state, our system, our nervous system in relation to those thoughts. And you can be feeling totally happy and at peace and calm with all kinds of different thinking going on if you just learn to meditate. Meditation is the cure because there is no cure. It's the cure to mental health because there is no cure to mental health. That's the paradox. That's what meditation teaches you. You can learn that for yourself by just laying there and breathing naturally and just noticing your thoughts and your breath. That's all you're doing in mindful meditation. If you can do that, you will come out from that meditation and notice that during the day, when you have those, let's say, negative thoughts or ones that race through your head, you'll notice that they're just thoughts. But if you hadn't meditated, you might not notice those. You might not notice what you notice because you won't have connected with that consciousness. And when you connect with consciousness, it wakes you up. It wakes you up to everything. It wakes you up to your own thoughts. It wakes you up to the colours in the sky, and it wakes you up to the fact that even though it's fucking roasting in this room right now, that doesn't need to mean that I lose my cool. I'm just hot. And I can stay centered. I can be conscious. Michelin, I hope that's answered your question. Guys, I'm going to round this up. I just wanted to finish off by saying if you have any friends or family that you think would benefit from the Warrior Group, I would love you to share the group with them, because the more like-minded people in this group, the better. And that is all from me. There's loads more to come this week. I can't wait to see more of you. I can't wait to see your comments. My friends, just want a final call just to say, if you have anything deeply concerning going on, please just feel free to message me. And also, remember that doesn't mean don't convey real emotion either. You know, let's find that balance. See, it's still about conveying some emotion, because we all go through what we go through in life. But the main aim of this group is to really lift each other higher and feel that. My friends, I'm going to go and hit my ice bath. You're going to hit yours too. Let's keep each other accountable. Remember the 5-minute rule. Get on with that thing. Just keep it 5 minutes. And I promise you'll feel calmer for it. Love you loads.